So this is the last wheelbarrow full of mud from the foot down layer of the swimming pool, which you saw last week we started doing. So if you're new to the channel, this is the weekly showcase of progress. I'm Mark from the Sharkstead, and I'm going to show you what we've been up to for the last 7 days. So my dad's on his way around soon to churn up the next layer of this area now. We've been using the mud around various areas. So we mentioned last week we've been filling up the raised bed planter in the middle, and the right hand side here, that's kind of almost finished height that we want. So we can't film any more because we need to get the stones. The levelling of the garden is coming on really well. But before I go over to that side and show you what we've got in that cold frame, I'm just going to turn around and show you what we've been doing in our neighbour's crop. Now, you've seen before that we've cleared the land and we've got our seeds in. A lot of the ones that we've direct sowed instead of the ones from the hallway, which maybe we're waiting another week or so to put them in. So we're just going to walk around now, because not only have we been planting our seedlings, we've also been trying to keep on top of the maintenance as well. So if we come down this way, it's a little bit windy, so I apologise for the background noise. So we've got onions, white onions, or maybe 100 in there, carrots, a whole packet of carrots, and red onions, and then we've got peas and stuff over there. I won't walk across because it's quite a bit of a manoeuvre maze. So we're going to come down here, and you'll see these little tufts of just vines and strangly or just bits of dry grass. And the plan is to keep raking it and just get it back to a manageable level because it was neglected for 2 years. We're pulling up all sorts of stuff. Like, there's a concrete post that was buried alongside this wall and it's just fully disintegrated. And it is a bit of a minefield of random things, but we're slowly getting on top of it. And I don't know if you can see, so we've started raking away from this wall now, and we're actually discovering a lot of holes that might have been either for a big snake or rat holes. So it's just clearing any habitat that we don't really want and keeping on top of it. The strawberries, they've survived with the little dusting of mulch we did earlier in the year, and overall pretty good. Our plan is to use the auger drill off my dad to reposition the concrete posts and tie up the vines properly, because we don't really know what design she had in mind, but a lot of the vines are stretching too far. So we're going to reposition some of them, and hopefully she'll be happy if she ever does visit. So we're going to climb back up onto this wall now, and we'll show you on the other side of the garden. Now, if you're like my dad and sees that we do things a little differently over here, we do have a massive polytunnel that you've seen, but it's full of materials that we're trying to keep dry. So we've had to put some of our hallway starter seedlings in an additional cold frame. So we'll show you in there. I'll show you a little sneak peek. So the weather has been a bit up and down this week. We've had a few wet days and things like that. But if you just have a look what we've got going on, it does seem to be holding the temperature quite well. So we've got the peas that you saw and a couple of others. But it's definitely an increase in temperature. We also have an additional one of these cold frames that we brought over from the UK. The other one we actually haven't unpacked yet, but our plan is to direct sow some lettuce, because lettuce is really fragile, and cover it with one of these over in Stefka's plot, just to give it a kickstart of life. And it's still a bit too cold, and it's just protect it really. So if you turn around, we've also used 100 odd wheelbarrows, and the garden is looking pretty level. So it's still very soft, and we try and squish it as we build it up so we don't have a disturbance really, especially when Dad's driving around on tractor. It helps compress it. We've also got a load of bulbs coming up in front of the summer house, and these were planted by the original owners, and the garden has gone through endless construction sites, rubble, and we're finally starting to see what is actually in the ground. And so all these tulips, I think they're tulips, they're all original from the beginning, so it's pretty cool seeing them up. The garlics are doing really well up there. We've also planted
the tree trunks.
The tree trunks, yeah.
They're the last thing to come out to make the space.
Yeah, so you can see how different it will look once the pear tree stump is out and the peach tree stump. Now, if you've seen one of our really old videos taking James the Giant Peach down, like it was absolutely huge, like 50-year-old tree, but it was destroying the roof. So we've tried tackling it with chainsaws and all sorts. So if you do have any proven methods of getting rid of a stump without using too much labour, let us know below. We really appreciate it. The pear tree stump's pretty easy. We can just chop that with the chainsaw, but we want to keep the sapling that's just here because it's got the established root system. We want to be careful when we cut that out and protect this. So we're just waiting to see if that buds and comes back before disturbing it any further. Now, I've mentioned before, we've got this last section of path to come out. So there's bits of rubble everywhere that all need to go down to the tip. And you might be able to hear my dad coming over the road now with the rotavated on. So we'll try and wrap it up so you don't have all the background noise. So Anisha actually grabbed a load of calendulas, I believe, or something of the daisy family from the Stefkas. So we've got a little line here going. And they seem to be coming up. It's very clayey and rubble soil, this. So we're kind of up in the air with the survival of them. But it was worth a try. And we think we've transplanted some elderflower, and we're not really sure. So if I'm going to just show you quite close up, and if you can identify what it is, just let us know, because we're kind of mixed.
It could be black walnut, which is highly invasive over here.
And these were from Stefkas as well. So if you come close, if you can identify any of this, any of our followers, then let us know. Because obviously we don't want to transplant an invasive species if we can help it, especially near the wall. So that kind of sums up what we've been getting on this week. We've had loads of people getting in touch, and all the time we're meeting new people, and the experiences and the support we're getting continuously just really warms our heart, and you motivate us to do more videos and to show you our lifestyle. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye. Divisioning in.